2023 is a great year for the Morgan dollars. The uncs are out, the proofs are out, and we're waiting for the reverse proofs later this fall. But how about taking a journey back 140 years ago to the first year they made them? And tonight, I have the first Southern Mint. That being 1879. So let's have a timeout here real quick, because many of you are going to say, hold it, the first Morgan dollar ever made was in 1878. And you're correct. Philadelphia made a coin, San Francisco made a coin, Carson City made a coin. Where was New Orleans? Well, New Orleans didn't start till 1879. Now, the unique thing as well, as one of the big three, Philadelphia, San Francisco struck every year, but New Orleans started a year late here, ended a year early in 1904. Kind of a funky tidbit. But if you look at all the first year Morgan dollars, the 1878, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Carson City, and then New Orleans, you'll learn a few things. Now, mintage figures are mintage figures. That's how many they made, not how many are known to exist today, right? They made 9.7 million P's, 9.7 million S's, and only 2.2 million Carson Cities. That was 1878. The first New Orleans, this coin, 2.8 million. So it's right there with the Carson City. Well, the first question I always look at is, how come I can't find any? And part of that is there were some Morgans, 1878 Carson Cities in the GSA sale that was in the early 1970s. So that made it pop up a little bit. But the other is the low mintage figures are the low mintage figures. The second piece of information I personally use, and it's my choice, hopefully you look at it as well, because it's information that's available in the industry. It helps us quantify, qualify good, bad, and different, right? If there are, make it up, 9.7 million, how many of them has NGC or PCGS or ANAX seen in the last 35 years compared to others? And that's when this coin gets to be very interesting. So if you look at the NGC numbers alone, just taking one of the grading services, the 7 tail feathers are over 25,000 coins have been certified in 35 plus years. Not bad. First year coins are special. The 8 tail feather was 15,254 as of today. So the very first ever Morgan, the 8 tail feather Philadelphia, very tiny. The San Francisco is a little over 59,000. Beautiful coin, still very rare. And then the Carson City is at 31,629. So the various first year 1878s, the lowest is the 8 tail feather at 15,254. And in uncirculated condition, we know that coin is at 300 to 400 or more. Just is. It's a special coin. Then you look at the first ever New Orleans, which happens to be a year later, 1879. Again, this coin. You look at the mintage, 2.8, very similar to Carson City at 2.2. Again, the Philadelphia East Coast, San Francisco West Coast, and then the middle of the country, smaller numbers because the coins were being eaten up for circulation, the expansion, the growth of our country. NGC's number for the first year, 1879, 11,392 as of today. Now, those numbers are for all coins seen, circulated, uncirculated, and extras. So again, the O mint 11.3, 11,300. The 8 tail feather 15,200, and the Carson City 31,000. Now that 8 tail feather 300 to 400 period, we know that. Carson City closer to 1,000. And that fabled mint story first year of issue, Carson City's not out there, all adds a ton of value to it. But time out, when it comes down to it, this is the key to the first year Morgans, the 1879 O. Now the other is, it's known as being the hand-me-down mint. And that is, when they need something, San Francisco sends it. When they need something, Philadelphia sends it. When Carson City folded, they sent it to New Orleans. As a result, when's the last time you've seen the details on the breast feathers at just optimum San Francisco levels? And the answer is you don't. And that's just the nature of the beast. Now, the obverse in this grouping we have, and we've accumulated about a roll, give or take 20 coins, they all had this beautiful obverse patina. And you saw that the open fields, the detail in the hair, etc. Beautiful stuff. Look at our price, $129.95. Now, apples to apples on this. My competition for a circulated coin, which is a VG to fine quality, or an 8 to a 12 on the 70-point scale, or an uncirculated is a 60, okay? For an 8 to 12, they're over 100. For the same coin you're seeing on your screen, they're just under 300. Tonight, we got a limited number of them available. $129.95 is it. Of all the first-year coins, this is the one we have on the fewest. I went back and looked at in the last year, how many times have we run the 79.0 versus the 78cc or the 8-tail feather from 1878? All the great stuff. Not to mention the San Franciscos or the 7-tail feathers. All these first years, there are 5 of them. Again, 7-tail feather, 8-tail feather being 2 from Philadelphia. And the one we've run, not even close. We're with 3 shows a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? 52 weeks a year means we got a lot of shows out there. The 7-tail feather and the 78 are the ones that we've had, give or take 10 times in the last year. Love it. Still not that frequent when you think of how many shows there are, right? But when you get down to the CC, a little less than that. And then it was the 8-tail feather, but the one we've shown or talked the fewest on is this 79.0. And it's just because we couldn't find the coin. Now, part of that is mintage figures are tiny, population numbers are tiny, and the answer to the story is, well, it's because we needed coins, right? The westward expansion came up through the Gulf, and then it would go up the Mississippi, and then it would launch. So coins were what? Not East Coast or West Coast. They were Mother Mint, which was New Orleans at the time. Guys, I actually just noticed the number of phone calls we have versus coins, and we got to put a 30-second clock up. This is a fun one. Look at the obverse on these coins. They're beautiful, uncirculated specimens, and we are a fraction of that of our competition. But the story of first-year coins starts in 1878 and ends in 1879, New Orleans. And you look at the mintages, the Carson City and the New Orleans are pretty close, 2.2 to 2.8. But when you look at all the other pieces of information available, there's no questions asked that the key, the one you see the fewest of today in the marketplace, is this one, the 1879.0. Thanks for listening. We're, I think, sold out. That means time to be moving on.